While I truly do wish them every success, I do not really patronize any of the businesses in this neighborhood or in this area. They're a little bit too posh, a little too upscale and pricey, a little bit too yuppie and hipster oriented for my taste. I generally just walk right past all of them, and such was the case on a particular morning some years ago when I was on my way to catch a bus. In front of one of these boutiques, in a way that I'm sure you've seen yourself a dozen times before, there was arranged a little discount rack of garments which the store probably wanted to be rid of once and for all. That's why they put them on sale. And as I was passing by, in spite of my diminished eyesight, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something which caught my attention. Now, I do not mean to sound like some kind of uppity know-it-all when it comes to wardrobe or that sort of thing. However, as anyone who is in the know will tell you, as anyone who has any kind of experience with clothing and such will attest, in particular as regards, you'll pardon the expression, vintage items, I don't know what it is, but there's something about perhaps the way they rendered textiles once upon a time, the sheen of fabric in the sunshine, a certain velour, definitely the stitching, the stitch work and the top stitching. There's something about vintage items which just stands out, and if you are in the know, you will instantly recognize it. As I say, it's very difficult to explain, but you see it and you know in a heartbeat what it is. And that happened on that morning as I was walking past. It was enough to induce me to break stride and turn around and go back and see for myself. And when I'm on my way to catch the bus, nothing can compel me to turn around. But this did. And I looked at the garment, and I realized, yes, indeed, this is, as it were, a vintage piece on a $5 rack. But as I looked it over, I was struck by some peculiarities. You see, here is the garment. As you see, it is the semblance of an old frock coat. Double-breasted. Of course, it has those two telltale buttons in the back overseeing the tails. But as I say, there's something unusual about its design. The enormity of the collar and the spread of the lapels and cuffs and these outrageous oversized pocket flaps. This item, which clearly is over 100 years old, resembles something from a period of time 200 years ago. The 1800s. Something that would have been worn somewhere between the time of the War of 1812 and the latter days of Edgar Allan Poe. And yet look at the remarkable condition that it's in. Despite a few moth holes, a few tears, I mean, this is in immaculate shape for being 200 years old? That can't be. And then I saw the label, and then I knew. I took this garment right inside the store and didn't buy it on the spot. No. I am an honest individual. I asked the clerk, hey, buddy, this was out there on your discount rack. Are you sure you want to part with this? And for just a fin on top of it all? He says, huh? Oh, yeah, well, my boss, she said put it out there on the rack, so, you know, I did what she said, and there you go. It's only $5. If you will sell this to me for $5, I will take it. I have to take it. I'm obliged to take this. And so I did. I bought it. Here's the thing of it. The label I mentioned. Now, in case I need to explain to you what this means, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, right down to the line, this should speak for itself. What we have here is a 100-year-old garment depicting a period piece from 200 years ago. So we have a 100-year-old garment that looks to be 200 years old. Somewhere around about. Which in itself makes it rather unique. The whole point to sharing this with you, because this is really rather tedious, rather trivial, it's materialistic, is this. In speaking of materialism, if you have a penchant for collectibles, vintage items, antiques, junk, if you love the thrift stores and the secondhand stores and the garage sales, the yard sales, and the flea markets, the point is this. Whereas the second-hand resale, mercantile, the piracy that goes out there and rapaciously pillages and plunders all of the second-hand stores, robbing them of all those treasures, only so that they can turn around and sell them for a quick buck. But no appreciation, no love, no real dedication to antiquities and collectibles and items that mean something to somebody. The whole point is this. Even allowing for those bandits who are out there 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, even then, you can still not only find some treasures, but some hell yeah, one-of-a-kind treasures. Even in spite of that element, there are still treasures out there waiting to be found that those jackasses pass right by because they don't know like we do.